combination with repetition and combination without repetition. Now, as I was saying that the last class problem, that is identified number of solutions of a given equation, and I'm going to that particular thing. That is the problem most probably you can remember. So yes.
So previous class you were discussing about the distribution objects into the box, and you told that you will explain one problem for that. Like you will give one example. So
actually, I was thinking that just because this chapter, combinatorics chapter, so many problems are there. So I was thinking of giving you an assignment along with some solved assignments where certain different types of problems it will be there, where that particular combination, that means that distribution of indistinguishable as well as distinguishable object as well as box concept, it will be there. I hope ki if we follow that particular assignment, that will be helpful for us.
okay,
Fine.
so sir, I was actually asking for one example for that. That is right.
Yes, exactly.
So,
That's why I said within that assignment, I will mention specifically all those four combinations which I talked in the last class, corresponding certain solved problem, and then I will ask to solve certain different problem.
Oh, that means, sir, in that assignment you will give examples for all the.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay.
First of all, certain solved problem it will be there, then certain unsolved problem which you have to solve. That approach it will be followed.
Thank you, sir.
Fine. And just because we don't have much time, that's why we are approaching that way. But at the end, if time permits, then definitely I will discuss based on different topic, different problems. Definitely, I will do that. But these assignments, again, I must ask that you try to solve that one. Once I post that if I say that would be better, definitely I know. So try to solve that. Once I post that particular solve, I will try to prepare that by 1 or 2 days, definitely. Fine. Now, as I was saying that this particular problem. So please listen it carefully, because this is a very important problem, because combination with repetition is a very important concept. Different time, different versions there, but I will capture in some manner. But sometimes it confusion. Now,
sir, your voice is a bit cracking, sir.
Okay, again today it's working. Is it clear right now?
No, sir, it is still cracking.
So much, sir.
Okay, what is your response right now? Is it okay? Is it okay right now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Now it's okay.
Okay. Okay. So this is the problem. We said that that is one version. That is how many solutions of this x1 plus x plus possible, and we mentioned that still in a different manner it is quite possible. 20 chocolate we have to select out of 3 different categories of chocolate. So where this type of option that means we have to select r number of element from n, and where r is greater than n, then definitely the question of repetition must be there. We have to repeat certain element. In that way we explain the thing. Now, if the same problem, whether it's a chocolate problem or number of possible in any way if we consider. Now, if we add some condition on this particular problem, and then how that problem will be. So, as this is the solution approach, most probably we can remember that this is nothing but a combination with repetition, any order if we are giving. So order, it is not having an issue, that's why it's a combination problem, and r is greater than n, r is 20 and n is 3, So that's why it's a repetition concept required, and that's why combination with repetition, that is in plus r minus 1 CR, that formula applied, and we got C of combination of 20 to 20, and answer 231 is coming. Fine. Now from this problem, if we switch, so I'm going to the slideshow mode. From this problem, if we switch to this way, how many solution does the equation we are having? Now that is the thing. That means in the same problem, someone is trying to say anything? Okay. In the same problem, now we have added certain. Hello?
Yes, sir.
You are trying to say anything?
Sir, so we can replace the variables like from x1 so that the new variable must be less than 0.
Okay, you are trying to approach the solution. Okay. Okay. Now, a generalized version of this is possible. Generalized version of this particular problem is possible. So I mentioned that try to make it out that how we are switching from a certain technique of counting to another technique of counting. So far we have learned so many types of counting technique, like rule of sum, rule of product, rule of subtraction, pigeonhole principle, permutation, combination, several rule. Now previously the same problem, it was based on combination with repetition, and we applied this three condition: x1 less than 7, x less than 8, and x3 less than 9 must. Then certain different counting technique we can apply right now, or we have to use certain different approach, so that these conditions we can cover it up. So whoever was saying something, now I must ask him to specify that. Can you should be the possible thing here? Yes, also approach.
Sir, number 1 টা একবার দেখাবেন?
Number 1 টা তো আগে নেটটাই করছি। Number 1 টা এক্স্যাক্টলি এটা। Ignore the condition. সেটা বাদ দিয়ে যেটা থাকে, that is number 1 solution, a problem. That is how many solutions of this particular equations we can have. And we mentioned that this problem can be solved using combination with repetition.
স্যার কম্বিনেশন উইথ রিপিটেশনটা আরেকবার দেখান না, সলিউশনটা যেটা চকলেটসে যেটা ছিল।
Okay. This one.
Yes sir. Okay sir, thank you sir, বুঝে গেছি।
Fine. So ultimately yes. 20 objects you have to select out of 3 category. So 3 is total thing, that is n, and 20 is number of object I want to select, that is r. So whenever my situation
থাকলে যে ফর্মুলাটা ওটাই বসিয়ে দিতে হবে, তাই তো?
Absolutely. Whenever my situation is r than n, you have to select something more than n given. N means this time is not number of object. N means this time category of object. এইটা একটুখানি খেয়াল করে বুঝতে হবে, category of object. So out of n we have to select r in such a manner r is greater than n. So in that case পরিষ্কার একটা is, that is you have to combination with repetition, and the formula is given to you.
Okay sir.
Now saying same problem but with some additional constant. Now these constants available to us. So step by step I am explaining, try to make it clear that how that approach we are changing, that is counting technique approach we are changing. Previously it was a combination with repetition problem. So right now we were saying in another manner, that means actually how many solutions of this solutions are there. As we know that this problem in terms of chocolate we have explained, so actually we are considering that manner. That is how many ways we can distribute chocolates, 20 chocolates from these 3 categories. The same approach already we have seen. Now whenever we are saying that the conditions are present in the same problem, the conditions are giving us this kind of impression, calculation is the first chocolate, there is X1, say there is a Cadbury, we can choose max 6 times. So please try to relate the condition is right now. Yes, X1 is less than 7, and that means max probably is 6. Similarly, maximum X2, say that is park as means maximum park I can relate that is 7 times because it is less than it. And simply X3 that is 5-star I can choose maximum 8 5-star I can choose. So these 6 by 7 by 8, these are the maximum possible number of certain category of chocolate. Okay, I hope that is quite clear. And that we have represented these terms to this way. The maximum thing, try to make it clear, we have mentioned this way. I hope that is quite clear right now, just because the conditions are given. Now, that means after this line onwards, we are approaching in a different manner to solve the same problem. We are saying that let's assume something. Although it is quite clear that I can choose 6 first category chocolate by 7 maximum second category by 8 maximum third category chocolate. Now it is saying that is it's a repetition problem that is quite clear to us. Definitely 6 times same chocolate we have to select. It's a repetition required. And we are approaching in a different manner right now. We are saying let's assume the first chocolate we will select that is starting from 7 and greater than 7. Second chocolate starting from 8 and greater than 8. Now look carefully what exactly we are doing. We are actually going in the opposite manner. It mentioned X1 less than 7, but we are saying no, I will choose X1 greater equal to 7. That means simply I'm just not following the condition, I'm just going opposite direction of the condition. Certain is there, that's why we are following it. So what should be the reason? The reason is that we are assuming
Sir,
the condition in a
your voice is cracking. Sometimes it's
Okay.
coming clear and then sometimes it's cracking.
Okay, right now what is the situation?
So now it is clear.
Actually, although if I ask that depending on a certain instant, it might be clear, but next time also, I also can understand, but I also can recognize that whether it is clear or not. Okay, let's go with that way. If it is not clear to you, please mention accordingly. I will repeat that thing again. Fine. So we are saying that we will assume, but we are assuming exactly the reverse manner. The way the conditions are given, we are assuming in the reverse manner. Now make it clear that if we go with this reverse condition, and if we can identify that how many ways we can select but distribute these 20 chocolates out of these 3 category where repetition is clearly allowed, but repetition is required, that is quite clear to us right now. But whatever solutions we will get, then whether that will be the final solution, absolutely not. That is not allowed kind of situation. Whatever solutions assuming these conditions will get, that will be discarded or that must be discarded. Now those condition must be discarded from whom? Those count must be discarded from whom, so that I can get the appropriate solution. So those condition, those count, depending on the C1, C2, C3, whatever count we will check, or we are getting right now, say that is say X. We are getting the count right now is coming X, assuming that C1, C2, C3 are valid. So these x, if we discard from somewhere, which one is somewhere? The total solution. So total solution minus x. What is x? Current solution, as we have assumed C1, C2, C3 right now. So total solution minus x. What will be that count? That is the actual count that we are asking for. That is maintaining the condition x1, maintaining the condition x2, maintaining the condition x3. What would be the possible solution? So if we are getting right now the solution is x, we will subtract that x from the total solution and we can say that that is the answer. Now the issue is, what is the total solution of this particular problem? So can you help me right now to identify the total solution of this problem right now? We are saying total solution of this problem. So what would be the possible total solution of this problem? Any idea right now? Without assuming any condition, total solution means that, obviously. So your views, what about the total solution? How we can calculate total solution?
So total solution.
Mm-hmm.
So the minimum value of x1 is 7 and 8 and x3 is 9. So it can never be 20.
Okay, so okay, that is not the approach. Fine, try again. So the total solution actually we have done already. Which one? Look carefully. This one. Make it clear. Whenever there were no condition attached with this particular problem, that is, what was the question? Identify or distribute 20 out of 3 category. Exactly, that is the total solution, which we have already identified. Fine, that is 231. So 231 is the total solution of this problem. Now if you impose some condition there, that will be a partial solution. That is, some of the solutions can have these particular conditions. So that is the total solutions already we have identified, 231. And right now we have assumed something, the reverse condition. So these are the reverse conditions as we mentioned. These are the reverse condition as we mentioned. So if we have assumed this condition, let's say check that how we can identify the solutions right now. So based on the C1, right now we are trying to identify how many ways we can select certain chocolate so that x1 greater equals to 7 condition it will be fulfilled. X1 greater equals to 7 condition it will be fulfilled. So we are right now approaching only one condition, it is true, then how many counts are possible? So make it clear that we are writing one expressions accordingly. What is the expressions we are getting? Now we are saying that the minimum value is 7. Minimum value is 7. So we are extracting 7 from both sides of this equation. We are extracting 7 from both sides of this equation. That is x1 minus 7, x2 minus 7, x3 minus 7. So if we do that, x1 minus 7, x2 minus 7 we can't apply because 7 is a condition only applicable on x1. 7 is a condition only applicable on the first category of chocolate. So that's why we are saying that x1 minus 7 plus x2 plus x3 is equals to 20 minus 7. So 20 minus 7, 13, that's why we have mentioned. And why we are doing that? We are saying that this problem we want to think in such a manner so that no condition is there. Why we are saying in that manner? Because we know we are having a combination with repetition problem where no condition is there, no kind of element corresponding condition is present there. So that is why we are trying to remove the condition from the given statement. And how we are doing that? First condition, x1 greater equals to 7, we are trying to remove. So what is the minimum value of x1? That is 7. So ignore or remove that condition from that expression. How we can do that? So x1 minus 7, what are the remaining values are there? We are accepting those X1 category of chocolate. And from the left hand side, we are doing that one, and that is basically applicable on X1. That's why we can say this is not actually X1. It is better to mention X1 dashed, because that is the modified version of X1s right now we are having. So make the point clear. We are trying to remove the condition on X1, and that's why it is happening like X1 minus 7, and that we are mentioning as a X1 dash. So it's a new X1 where no condition is imposed right now. And same thing we are doing for the right hand side, that is 13 minus 20 minus 7, that is 13. Now we are getting this equation. Is it a equation which is saying that I can apply certain counting approach? Yes, it's a combination problem, and it's a combination with repetition problem. That is select 13 chocolate out of 3 category, where the categories are X1 dash, X2 and X3. And the speciality right now with respect to the given problem is, given problem conditions were there, and right now these expressions, no conditions are present. That's the difference. So can we calculate NC1? Yes, N plus R minus 1 C R. And following that one, we are getting the value of NC1 is 105. If this small portion is clear, rest of the thing is dependent on the same concept. So please give your feedback whether this portion is clear or not, whatever we mentioned so far. That means only the NC1 portion is clear or not. Is it clear? Whether the NC1 portion is clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, thank you. So if this portion is clear, can we go for C2 in the same manner? That is NC2. So in case of NC2, what will happen? X1 plus X2 minus 8, and that will consider as X2 dash
Right.
plus
Equals
X3
to that.
equals to 20
Right.
minus 8, 12. So that is the following the same manner. We have identified NC2, NC3. Fine. Now, these are the equations we have framed by assuming individual condition. Now, at any moment of time, can we go with 2 conditions at a time? That is, by considering X1 greater equal to 7 as well as X2 greater equal to 8? Answer is yes. So right now we have considered 1 condition, then we are switching to 2 condition. That means at any moment of time, apply the 2 conditions, say X1 and X2. Now what will happen in case of X1 and X2 if we combine? Your suggestion? If we combine X1 X2 condition, what will happen? What will be my what will become my expressions or the equations? How it will be look like if I consider X1 and X2 at the same moment of time? How it will be look like? The expression or the equation? Right now we have considered 1 conditions individually. I'm asking that if we combine those 2 conditions, X1 and X2, and if we apply that on the given equation, how it would be looking like?
Sir, will it look like a relation?
No. I'm asking for the expression by equation actually.
So the value of n will be 3 and the value of r will be 5 there if we consider the condition C1 and C2.
C1 and C2. Okay. So C1 and C2, if you consider what will be the condition, that is minimum value, that is 7 plus 8, something like that, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
7 plus 8, that is 15.
15.
So that 15 you have to subtract from whom? From the right hand side, 20
Yes,
minus,
sir.
that becomes
So
5.
Yes. So the r value will be 5.
Absolutely. So your x dash plus x1 dash plus x2 dash plus x3 equals to 5. That will be your condition. Absolutely correct thing you mentioned. So we are going with the second one right now. So these are the first condition we have considered, and this way we have identified NC1, NC2, NC3. Now combining two conditions. The first equations we can frame exactly correct things he mentioned. That is this one, x1, x2, x3 equals to 5. Actually, these it will be modified version of x1, x2. These two we have combined. C1, C2 means x1 corresponding, x2 corresponding. So we can identify that in of C1, C2, count how many ways we can combine these two. In the same manner, C1, C3 and C2, C3. I hope that portions are clear. That is how we are calculating NC1, C3 and NC2, C3. So we have considered one condition, then we have combined two condition. Now further possible? Yes. If we combine three, that is C1, C2, C3. Fine. Now your comment. If I combine C1, C2, C3, what will happen?
So it is mentioned that we cannot take no, sir.
Yes, you have identified correct things. Just specify that.
So we cannot use a negative term. If we combine all the three conditions and we then subtract it from 20, we are going to get a negative term.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's the good observation. Thank you. So what she is mentioning right now, if we combine these three conditions, my situation is becoming like 7 plus 8 plus 9. Now we are getting that is greater than 20. And if I subtract that from 20, right hand side portion of the given equation, I'm talking about this portion, 20 minus these three condition. If I do, I'm getting that negative value we are having. That means it is asking to select some negative object selection. That means that is absolutely invalid. So if it becomes invalid, that is why we can observe that finally the n of C1, C2, C3 is becoming 0, because my expression, it has become right now x1. Actually that time it should be x1 dash plus x2 dash plus x3 dash, because we have excluded the condition from 3, x1, x2, x3 equals to minus 3. So whenever it is coming minus, it indicates that that calculation is not possible. So that's why count is becoming 0. So now come to the point. That means why we are approaching this way, and ultimately it will lead to in which direction? It is leading to which direction? So we have considered one condition, we have applied that, we have condition 2 at a combination, we have applied that, and we have combined 3 conditions, and we identified that count is coming 0. Now sometimes these conditions we can include, sometimes some of the condition we can exclude, and that point is saying that we can approach for a certain counting technique where certain conditions we have to include and certain conditions we have to exclude. Can you remember the name of that counting technique? In which counting technique we actually do in that way? Some situations we have to consider, some situations we have to discard. Okay. The name of the counting technique is principle of inclusion and exclusion. Now, if you ask me that where actually we are discarding, we are considering every conditions though here. No, once you mention that you have considered one condition C1, and next time you are saying that I will consider C1 and C2, actually you are considering C1 2 times, isn't it? That means somehow you have to discard the C1 one time. And that we know in case of A union B, what happens? That is A plus B minus A intersection B. One time common thing we have to subtract. So some of the portions we consider, but we add, and some of the portion we discard. That is the principle of inclusion and exclusion. So here also actually we will apply that principle of inclusion and exclusion. And we have to identify what? Now considering these three conditions, C1, C2, C3, and look carefully why it is mentioned dash, because we have assumed something. What we have assumed? The given condition corresponding complement, it is mentioned that x1 less than 7, but we assume what? x1 must be greater equals to 7. Minimum 7 and greater than 7. That's why it is talking about C1 complement. So count how many ways we can apply the reverse condition, and that is n of C1 dash, C2 dash and C3 dash. So can we identify that one? Yes, if it is possible to identify, then total count n, which we have done already, that is 231, the way we have solved the first problem, and from there we will subtract. So value of n of C1 union C2 union C3 equals to nothing but n minus the complemented version. So our primary objective right now, identify the value of n C1 dash, C2 dash, C3 dash, and we know there is a generalized principle rule or generalized rule of principle of inclusion exclusion, and we have applied that. What is the rule? In case of three sets, A plus B plus C minus the two combination A union B plus B union C plus A union C, and then plus of the three set corresponding, that is A intersection B intersection D. So exactly we have applied the three element corresponding generalized or three element corresponding principle of inclusion exclusion, and we have put the values appropriately, and we are getting, this is the value coming, that is 3. So that is the total solution. That is the total solution we have identified already, and this is the portion of the principle of inclusion exclusion corresponding we have identified. That 274 means single element corresponding count minus 2 set corresponding 46 and plus 3 set corresponding 0. So this way the final answer is coming 3. That means maintaining these three condition, x1 less than 7, x2 less than 8 and x3 less than 9, we are getting that we have applied two different counting approach here. One is combination with repetition, another one is principle of inclusion and exclusion. Fine. So if you are having any confusion anywhere, please point out that thing. So regarding this problem, anywhere any issues are there or regarding these solutions? Okay. Okay, so this is one of the technique and that is very much interesting. That's why I tried to explain that thing. It's a combination of two different counting technique within the same problem we have applied. Now let's switch to the next one. Most probably the polynomial versions we are having, counting using polynomial. This is another technique of counting. So what exactly it is saying? We are having a problem. Make the problem clear. It is saying that we have 3 rows, and every row a combination of certain characters are there. First QU by S by T for first row, then second row A by I can select, and third row D by CK at a combination we can select. And it is saying from every row you can select one portion, that is either QU. Say I'm saying that one example, if I say like QU I am selecting here, from second row I am selecting I, and from third row I am selecting CK. So I can frame a word, I can frame a word QUICK, quick.
So can you please repeat the question?
Exactly. My question is that we have to frame a string from these 3 rows. Conditions are there. Every row I can select one data. Every row I can select one data from every column. How many columns are there? So among all these columns, from every row I can select one column, either QU or S or T from the first row. Similarly A by I from the second row. Similarly D by CK from the third row. But I cannot select multiple values from the same row. Fine. This way it is saying that how many k-length words are possible. Look, we frame a word QUICK, its length is 5. So if it is asked that make a 5 length word, my answer should be say QUYCK. Now if it is asked that make a 5 length another word except QUYCK, and we can observe that no, it is not possible. So the question finally is how many K length words are possible. Now K value, it is not given. You have to identify a generalized formula so that you can say using this formula you can determine that how many words are coming. So what is the approach right now we are applying to solve this? The polynomial approach to frame a K length word. So if I say 3 length word, how many possible? You can say SAD. Another 3 length word, say TAD, something like that. But SID, but TID. So these are the possible variations of the words. Now to solve this problem, we are saying we'll use polynomial. And what is that approach? Polynomial formation is frame the polynomial based on the rule. So every row, the way the characters are there, look carefully how we are framing the polynomial. This is the polynomial formations. The first row, we are framing a polynomial this way, xx plus x plus x. Why it is plus with respect to first row? Because I can choose any one. It's a or. So that is why plus. From second row, I can choose any one. That's why x plus x. Now look carefully, one individual character means I am trying to represent that as a x. And just because in the first row QU is there, I am considering that as XX. So similarly in the third row, it is XX, x plus XX. That is D, X and CK, XX. Again, it's a OR connection. And once I say that I want to frame a word, any kind of dependencies are there, yes, select first, then go for the second row, then go for the third row. And that's why it's a rule of product, it is there. So it's a rule of product. Now if we multiply these three, we can frame a polynomial. And the polynomial is coming this one, because rule of product we have applied. Why rule of product? Because once you select the first subproblem, then you can go for the second subproblem solution. What is the second subproblem solution? Either you can select A by I from the second row, that is x plus x. So we are multiplying all these things and we are getting a polynomial this way, 4x cube plus 6x to the power 4 plus 2x to the power 5. And we have solved our problem. How? Now if it is mentioned that you are having a value of k that is 4, so which one actually denoting that k? This 4, k equals to 4, that is x to the power x to the power k. And whatever coefficient is there, that will be the answer. That means how many 4 length words are possible. You don't have to check it manually. Your polynomial will help you to identify that count. Which one? The coefficient of the polynomial. So 6 is the answer. That is saying that 4 length word possible here is 6. So you can also check QUAD this way. It is not that meaningful word it has to be. It can be meaningless. SICK, something like that, TICK, something like that. So this way you can frame 4 length words. 4 length, how many words? Now that is coming 6. So this polynomial, this way it is helping that if you are trying to identify a k length word, check the power of x, whichever is matching, that will be the answer. That means this way you can observe how many k equals to 2 length word possible. Answer is coming, there is no term present with k equals to 2. X to the x square is not present. So that's why 0. So this is an approach, that is a polynomial approach. Sometimes we can utilize during the time of counting. Fine. So anywhere any doubt regarding this particular polynomial approach? Okay.
Sir, explain the select rule once.
Okay, so I hope the question is clear to you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Thank you. So in certain cases, we can utilize polynomial to identify certain count. And here also it's a counting problem. How many k-length words are possible here? So we are trying to frame polynomial in this manner. The way the rows are represented, we are saying that this we can represent this way, that is xx plus x plus x. How we are framing that way? So we are considering this q as a x and this u as a x. So that's why xx. This individual s, this is a x, and this individual t, that is a x. Now, whenever we are checking QU, na S, na T, that means they must be connected with OR. That means either I can choose QU or S or T, and that is the reason we have put XX plus X, that is for S, plus X, that is for T. So that is the reason we have connected with plus, that is OR. Similarly, the next one X, and this way we have framed the individual row. These are the row wise representation. And then once we are saying that whether there is a dependency in between these rows, yes, you can select first row, then go for the second row. That is rule of product concept is coming. And that is why we have applied a product here. And these we have connected with respect to this product. So if we applied that rule of product, we have framed the polynomial this manner. Ultimately, if you multiply these three term, you will get 4x cube plus 6x to the power 4 plus 2x to the power 5 is coming. And then we are saying from these expressions, you can identify your question corresponding answer. What is the questions? How many k-length words you can frame? So which one actually denotes k here? Now the power term of the x that denotes k. So x to the power 3 by x cube, that cube portion represent 3 length word. How many? That is the coefficient represent 4. So which are the 3 length word? So like SAD, sad, SID, seed, TAD, tad, TID, tid. Look carefully, 4 it is coming. Manually we have done, and your polynomial is also saying that 4 number of 3 length words are possible. So whenever you are trying to identify k length word, check the polynomial, check the x term, check its check its power. If it is matching your answer, it will be that corresponding coefficient. So this way we are identifying that. Yes.
So what is exactly k-length words like?
K-length words like if I say k equals to 3. So one of the word k-length 3 is 3 length word. That is SAD, sad, but SID, seed, but TAD, tad, but TID, tid. These are the k equals to 3 length word. That is 3 characters are present in your word. K equals to 3 means 3 characters must be there in your word.
So so over in the second point, it is given the select rule. So the product depends upon the question it is given. Like this is not the standard
Absolutely.
form.
Absolutely. It in some cases you can apply that rule of sum as well.
Okay.
So that time you have to select the rule appropriately.
So the polynomial which you have formed, when you are multiplying it, then we are getting this equation, like the polynomial 4x cube plus 6x to the power 4, and from there, sir, how you are checking that it is the answer is 6, or so over here it is just mentioned.
In your problem, it should be mentioned, that is you have to identify k letter word, k equals to 4. That's why we have mentioned how many 4 letter words you can frame. So that is the value of k given. So you have to check 4 as a exponent version, that is x to the power 4 corresponding coefficient. Check that, that would be the answer.
Oh, okay, sir.
Fine. So then I must skip this portion because we have explained this thing in our earlier class. counting using polynomial. Again, I must skip this thing because I will share this with you because one more topic I am having. I must quickly wrap it up because I don't have much time today. So generating permutation, that is very interesting approach. So I will take a few more minutes actually because that is the last portion present in my counting portions or combinatorics portions, initial portion. What it is trying to say, generating permutation. It is saying that a number is given to us 362541. What will be its next permutation? Sometimes it happens that we think, okay, 36, 25, 41, next permutation, something like that, 36, 25, 42. Answer is no, not in that manner. It's not a consecutive data we are talking about. It's a permutation we are talking about. So permutations once we are talking about with respect to the digit present there, we are trying to say that is 3, 6, 2, 5, 4, 1. These are the digit corresponding permutations we are asking. Make the point clear. It is not that the next number of this given number we are asking. If it is asked that what is the permutation of this given number, certain rules are there. So make it clear that how we can approach. So rules are very clear. So please go with these values step by step. So many theories are written in the slides. So I'm just asking you skip those portion and listen my words carefully. So 362541, certain rules are there. I'm just skipping these rules and I'm saying that please look it carefully. First rule is saying if say one number is given 2345156. This is a number given and it is asking what will be its next permutation. The first rule is saying if you have to check the digit from right to left. Fine, make the point clear. From where to where we have to check? From right to left you have to check. Fine. And during the time of checking, individual digit if you check, that is required. So check 6 and 5, last two digit. That is, if I consider 6 as a nth position, an position digit, then 5 it will be considered as an minus 1 position, an minus 1 position. Absolutely. Now the first rule is saying if your an is greater than an minus 1, make it clear what we are saying. Last digit is an, previous last is an minus 1. And if your an is greater than an minus 1, that is 6 is greater than 5, right now it is okay. 6 is greater than 5. So that means it is the first rule, and the rule is saying that you have to interchange those two digits. What is first rule? If your last digit is greater than the last previous last, then you have to interchange. And that's why we have simply done one thing here. We have interchanged these 5 and 6, and you can notice it has become 6 and 5. Rest of the digits are same. 2, 3, 4, 1. And then we have interchanged this 5 and 6, and we have got this 6 and 5. Point is clear, I hope. That is, yes, your an is greater than an minus 1, then interchange an minus 1 and an. That will be your next permutation of the given number. Now, the rule 2. If it is not, so if it is not, it indicates what? Your condition, it will be reversed. Your, which condition I am talking about? This condition, it will be reversed. That should be less than. So exactly, it should be less than. So that's why I'm switching to a problem with respect to that one. And this is the problem right now we are assuming. When we can observe that an is less than an minus 1. Which one I'm talking about? 1 is less than 4. 1 is less than 4. An is less than 4. An minus 1. 1 is less than 4. Now if that situation is there, it is saying the rule 2 is saying, please listen it carefully. Rule 2 is saying go on. Simply go on. Go on moving. Move to the next pair. Move to the next pair. Which one is the next pair? 4 and 5, and check. 4 is less than 5. Yes, that means move on. So where to move? Next pair, 5 and 2. 5 is less than 2. So it is saying no. Now we are coming back to a condition. Which condition? The first condition which we have actually observed. Right now the situation is 5 is greater than 2. That is an greater than an minus 1 situation we have faced. And now if you have faced that, now the rule is saying that the the j minus 1 position, actually we are no longer at nth position, so I can't consider these two as a n minus 1. That's why we are saying, think about that 2 is the a j minus 1 position and this 5 as the aj position. So right now we are having a situation like aj is greater than aj minus 1. Which one is aj minus 1? 2. And which one is aj? 5. You have to replace at the jth position. Now what to replace at the jth position? Which one is the jth position? Right now your jth position is 5 and aj minus 1 position is 2. So you have to replace this position with some data. Where 2 is there? What to replace? Now you have to replace these 2 where this 2 is present. That position you have to put a data from this remaining data. Which one? Some value which is greater than 2, and that is the least. Again what I said, some value that is greater than 2 and that is the least. So greater than 2, which are the values available after these 2? 5 bar 4, not 1, because 1 is less than 2. So your probable answers are either 5 bar 4. But we mentioned something. What is that? 2 you have to replace with a value that is greater than 2 but least 1. So 5 4, which one is least? 4. So that's why your approach is coming that 3 6 4. Make it clear, make the point clear what we said. The 2 data we have replaced with 4. Why? Because once you reach that 5 greater than 2 situations you have observed, then that 2, that is aj minus 1 position, it must be replaced with a value that is greater than 2 but that must be least 1, and that is 4. Because out of 5 4 1, greater than 2 is 5 by 4, and among these 5 by 4 least 1 is 4, and that's why we have placed the 4 at this position. Fine. And then the next thing is that rest of the digits you have to arrange in increasing order. What is rest of the digit? What are the rest of the digit? 5 2 1, 5 2 1. These are the rest of the digit, and those digits you have to arrange in increasing order. That is 1 2 5. So rest of the digit we have arranged it increasing order, and that way we are getting the 1 2 5. We have increased, we have arranged this in increasing order 1 2 5.
Sir,
So,
sir, we have class from 2:10.
yes. What is the time? So that is the rule. So I will share this slide with you. So please go with this rule minutely, and if any problems are there, we'll discuss that in the next class. Fine. Thank you.
So what about the attendance link?
I'm giving that one to you.